Hello, I'm Ben Hartman, and this is part of a video series on gardening without plastic. Today we're going to talk about using burlap as an alternative to landscape fabric. So what you can see behind me is a roll of wide burlap that we're laying down for weed suppression in a tomato greenhouse. So for years, we and many gardeners used plastic-based black landscaping fabric, which has the problem of what do you do with it at the end of its life cycle? This burlap here is 100% biodegradable. And so let me talk about the advantages first, and then I'll talk a bit more about the material and sourcing it. This advantage first is that it holds the moisture in the ground so that we have to do less irrigation. So I'll pull this away here and you can see the ground stays nice and moist. We do run drip tapes sometimes underneath to help, but it really does a good job of evening out the moisture in the ground here. It also does a pretty good job at weed suppression. We have found that it suppresses about 90% of the weeds. If you have grasses, they will want to grow up through the burlap. The burlap does have lots of small perforations in here, but for the most part, it does actually suppress weed growth. There were plants in here, and you can see we had some lettuces in here, and what I did was I sliced underneath to help kill the lettuce, and then I simply smothered the previous crop with the burlap here. So a very simple, easy way to transition from one crop to the next and to control your weeds in the garden using a natural fabric. Another advantage that we really like is the weight. So it is a bit heavier than some fabrics, and which means we don't really, in here it's a greenhouse, there's not much wind, so we're not using anything, not even sandbags, no landscape fabric staples. We just simply lay it down like a big rug, and at the end of the season we'll simply fold it up and store it. We'll keep it in the house, in the garage where the mice aren't going to get to it, because this mice will love to make a nest out of this stuff here. So lots of advantages, and in my mind it's actually those advantages sort of outweigh the extra cost. It costs about a third more than traditional landscape fabric, but worth it in my opinion and our experience. So you can see here we have 2 layers of fabric to help with extra weed suppression, and just because to get us a little bit of extra width in here. But in reality, we found that 1 layer usually works too. So about the material here, landscape burlap rolls come in various thicknesses, and you'll commonly find it in 5 ounce, 7 ounce, and 10 ounce. Weights, this is the heavier 10 ounce weight. It's going to have a tighter weave, so there's less air and less sunlight that can penetrate through the weave here, which is what you want for this application. In some other videos I'll show how we use the lighter weight of fabrics for other applications. And also very important is to ask for untreated burlap. It does come sometimes in treated form, and your supplier should know whether it's treated or untreated, and definitely worth asking that question. And then as far as where do you source the burlap, there are burlap suppliers in every corner of the United States and throughout the world, because it's widely used in the landscaping industry. And so you'll see it alongside highways where they're establishing large grass plantings, that sort of thing. So you might not find it on the shelf of your local hardware, but if you ask around, figure out where your local landscapers are going to source their materials, you'll find it in there. So shop local first. And second, I will list some other places online where you can source this. It does come in various widths, 3 feet, 4 feet. We like to have the 60-inch or 5-foot width to match the bed width that we have, but you can find a roll that fits your situation.